So Meghan is pissed. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, Leilani of Barbados. There are new developments from the CBS interview with Meghan and Harry, and we're going to talk about it. Meghan Markle screamed at TV producers and couldn't stand Prince Harry in new interview. Meghan Markle has been criticized by a royal expert, that's Angela Levin, for having a meltdown after challenging interview as claims emerged that she and Prince Harry can't stand each other. I covered this interview a little bit, very early o'clock, so nobody cared that much, but now everybody's analyzed it and come to pretty much the same conclusion that something was awry during that interview. Let's first start out with the fact that Jane Pauley has been criticized a lot for not giving enough pushback. But I thought Jane Pauley did a very good job in the sense that she was able to take Meghan by surprise and ask her about the unaliving. That made Meghan very uncomfortable. Why? Why would that be? Because she was probably given director's notes and she would have been given a list of questions, and this was not on the list, obviously. Now, I think all the fury came from the fact that Meghan did not really want to have an interview with Harry. She just wants to be there by herself, talking alone. But the fact is that she knows she can't do that. She needs Harry. That is her crutch. That is her claim to fame at this point. So when Jane Pauley actually asks her about the unaliving, I think that is what made her very angry. And we know that because she put her hand on Harry's knee, and because Jane Pauley she was brave enough to ask the question, but then she also is tiptoeing around it like, I know you weren't going to get this question, and I know you probably are, and you're looking for your husband for support. And she's obviously fumbling a lot because she says you're grabbing for his hand when in fact she was grabbing for his knee. But you can see that Jane Pauley is, as professional as she is, she's still kind of a little bit wary of asking this question. And so was Meghan. Meghan did not like that question at all. And we're going to get into like why she should have liked that question in a minute. But first I just want to say, Meghan's problem, right, is that she keeps trying to trick the wrong demographic. Meghan is in a position where, I don't know if she did marketing or what she did in school, but when marketing, if you're going to trick somebody, they have to be unaware that you're tricking them. The demographic that Meghan Markle is dealing with is a very experienced, very wise, older demographic. Those are the people who care about the royal family and who care about Harry and want to know what's going on and want to know and actually care if Meghan is trying to destroy the royal family. So it's very difficult to trick older, wise women and men who know a lot about the royal family, more than her, and also have a lot of life experience that she does not have. If she was trying to trick children, which there's a lot going on with that on YouTube, where creators are tricking children and marketing to children and the children don't even know. And there's a lot of investigations going on about that, by the way, right now in YouTube, where people are investigating creators for using psychological techniques and tools and teams to get into the brains of children. That's an easy target. But women and men who have experience in life, it is very difficult to trick them. Meghan knows not what she's doing. Jane Pauley being a good example. Jane Pauley was like, this is my interview and I'm going to do it my way. So Meghan, of course, is like, vex. She is upset afterwards. She's screaming at producers who she's obviously saying to, I was not given these notes. I was not supposed to go through this. Remember Oprah interview. And I'm going to do a video on this, like I said, on my members only part of this channel. Why the Samantha Markle case was so difficult for Samantha Markle, why it was such a weak case, was because Meghan and Oprah went through that interview 100 times before we saw it air. Meghan and Oprah had a legal team advising them on what she could say to make sure that it wasn't defamatory enough to get sued. So that didn't happen here, obviously. So Meghan is pissed. She's so upset because of the fact that she wasn't in control. It's that simple. What Meghan really should do, if she wants to be in so much control, is that she should not have Harry there with her. Harry's the one that she threw under the bus and blamed for her not getting help. Well, him and HR, which HR already debunked and said that they never saw Meghan Markle come into HR. The entire team said that she never came in there. And I wonder if when Harry really thinks about it. Oh, by the way, that's the picture of the night that Meghan said she wanted to unalive. It looks more like Harry wanted to than her, if you ask me. What he's taking as a red flag or a cry for help that she did at the time, I bet it wasn't how she's portraying it today. I bet that she probably, allegedly, said something like, I'm not having a good day. or something. I don't think she said XYZ specifically, please get me help, and then he didn't get it. So he's struggling now because he has to sit up here and look at her sideways while someone asks her about that time in her life, which he has had to take responsibility for. Because she's a narcissist, he had to take responsibility. Because she's a narcissist, she got angry with people questioning her. Remember this guy, Piers Morgan, who quite innocently joked, "I wouldn't believe Meghan Markle if she gave me a weather report." And then Meghan Markle had him fired. I really don't know why Meghan doesn't get it. The whole parents network is not what it seems. Meghan keeps painting these projects as something good and philanthropic, when really it's just about herself. Whether it's about her grifting, whether it's about her making money, or whether it's about her protecting her own assets. She's not doing this for anybody else's benefit. Because if it was about other people, then wouldn't she be happy with the question about her experience wanting to unalive? That's what I was saying. She should have been happy with that question. Instead, she was very uncomfortable with it. She's dishonest, and that's why she's not relatable. The reason why they want a parent network is because they want to say it's about X when it's about them. It's about them and not being spoken about online. They want people to be controlled and censored and sanitized, and you can't talk about Meghan and Markle and Prince Harry in a bad way. Yet, of course, what is good for me is not good for thee, because Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are slammed for their links to tech entrepreneur Christopher Bouzy, who's notorious for trolling William and Kate online after the Sussexes discussed social media safety in new CBS interview. One big part of this interview is that she was threatening the royal family, that she's going to take revenge on them because she has more to talk about. She hasn't even scraped the surface, which is... It just shows you how flustered and how out of control she is, because you should say scratch the surface. Of course, we know that, right? Remember, these are the same people that tried to trick veterans, or are trying to trick veterans. They're choosing the worst demographic of people to trick. The way that Meghan Markle could win over the demographic of older people, experienced people, is to be as sweet and as composed as possible and stop trying to be tricky. Older people are not stupid. They know when you are trying to trick them. Stop pretending that you are this good person that's all about this and all about that, when every single time you have showed up, you have lied, and you have got financial gain from it. This whole unaliving thing and her not getting the help she wanted, she also contradicts herself so often, and she thinks people don't remember. They're too stupid to remember. That's very condescending of her to be like that, don't you think? Even after blaming Harry for not helping her, in her Archetypes podcast, Meghan Markle speaks about calling a woman who Harry found for her. And the only thing she kept going on and on about was how excited the psychiatrist who was checking out at the grocery store, and you remember they added the sound effect of the beep, 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 like checking out the grocery. This psychiatrist was so in awe of her, and she said, "Is it really you, the Duchess of Sussex?" I already covered this when the podcast came out, but I'm just saying that it was so excited to talk about the woman being in awe of her. If you are really having this desperate phone call to a psychiatrist that you got her personal number, that's a whole different take than I expect. I expect you to be like, "I was so desperate, girl. I was there at my rock bottom, girl." Instead, she's like, and she was so excited that it was actually me talking to her on the phone. So again, nothing makes sense. You can't even call it a cry for help at this point. I don't know what you want to call it, but it's very disingenuous, and it's really rotten to use those horrific feelings of unaliving in a way to trick people or get people on your side or forcing people to acknowledge you and pay attention to you. I mean, how old is she? Like, how developed? It's Arrested Development. She's stuck in teenage angst. She's stuck in when she used to manipulate her father. But anyway, everyone's coming out with these opinions. After all, they're looking at the body language, of course, which was awful to watch. She was very tense. She was very upset. She had a lot of disdain for Harry, which he was also very much had up a wall against her. I don't know why they keep coming out here, but all I can tell you is that these two people, I'm not surprised. I was hoping that they were two toxic people that could just coexist, but I'm not surprised it didn't work out that way, because they're raised differently. Harry was raised in a family. He was protected. He understood service. He understood media training. He understood that much. Meghan comes from the dog eat dog LA world, where you have to fight, sleep, whatever your way to success, and talent is so so much a commodity there. It's so many people with talent that you have to be so much better than everybody and to find a way to beat somebody out of something. And that is all she knows. And so in that respect, I do see how they could completely hate each other at this point now that they're actually living with each other. I'm not surprised that this is the case, but what I'm really worried about is this vengefulness within her. Like the more angry she gets, the more upset she gets, the more meltdowns that she has, that she's going to take it out on the royal family. But really and truly, somebody has to put a stop to it. People are not well, you know? People are not feeling well, and she does not need to come out here and start to badger and batter these people that are already not able to cope. I don't know if I should say this, but I'm going to say it. I honestly feel like she has sent these people into illness by her behavior. I honestly feel so. Stress like this, reputations being ruined, there's no recourse for them. There's nothing they can do because that is not their practice of suing and all this kind of thing, which is another thing. You have to remember, all of this behavior that Harry's doing of suing and doing all these things, that's another thing that he never learned in the royal family. So Meghan's always going to be blamed. She can't come out here and do her own thing because people are going to constantly judge her, blame her, and criticize her for her behavior and for Harry's behavior because he wasn't taught to live like that. And I don't know what to say more about it. But anyway, thank you so much for listening to me. Now, I am going over to my Polo Club, which is my members. So if you just go into my channel, you just click on members. That's where you'll get the Samantha Markle tea, because I don't like to talk about her on my main channel. It's kind of boring anyway, but what I have to say about the case and her trying to reopen it, I will say over there. That's why I'm kind of dressed down, because that's a very casual channel anyway. So we just have fun in there. So I will say whatever I need to say over there. Okay? I love you all so much, and don't forget to subscribe, press the bell notifications, and become a member if you want to. More importantly, put down in the comments what you think is really going on here. Do you think that she had this meltdown, and why do you think she had the meltdown? Give a thumbs up if you like this video. Go look at my old videos on that CBS interview as well, because I did have a lot to say then. I love you. Bye.